Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Fattah, Ya Fattah, Ya Fattah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. Rabbana zidna ilma, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hal uqdatum min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sister Samia?
Alhamdulillah, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Okay, Sister Samia, let's begin because we have to cover a lot. If people are joining, it's fine. If they cannot, we cannot wait for them anymore. So, just going with the revision. So we
Can you hear me? I can't hear you suddenly.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear
Sorry,
you.
I hit mute by mistake. Okay, so we're just starting with a quick recap. So we started chapter of negation. The first thing we studied was negating in past. So do you remember what were the two formats of negating in past?
Yes, they were lan and ma. No, not lan, that's future.
Lam.
Lam and ma.
So when we have lam, what tense of verb we use or fail we use,
We use mudare.
and what it does to mudare?
It makes it lightest.
Very good. And when we have ma, what tense we use?
Madi.
Very
And it
good.
doesn't do anything to it doesn't change the madi.
Very good. And that was two options for negating in past. Then we had two options for negating in present as well. Do you remember them?
La and ma.
La and ma. And the tense that we use with la and ma?
Mudare.
With both we use mudare. And does the la make any effect on mudare?
No, it doesn't.
And ma?
No, that doesn't either.
And do you remember what is the name of that la that we used here for negating in the past tense?
For the present tense, is it
For mudare?
la na
La
la nafiya?
al-nafiya. La al-nafiya. All right, very good. Then what we studied is about the last thing we studied was about the future negation. So what was the points and the future negation?
They were lan plus mudari and lamma plus mudari.
Very
And
good.
lan makes the mudari in mansoob, and the lamma makes it majzoom.
So, mashallah, I can hear your little one singing something in the background. Mashallah, may Allah bless her with all the afiyah dunya and akhirah. Mashallah. Okay, then we studied about negating the jumla ismiya.
Yeah.
There we had four options,
Mm-hmm.
two with ma and two with laysa. So
Yeah.
you remember we studied one more thing when we were studying ma and laysa. There was one more harf that we studied. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it was ba ziyada.
Ba zaida. Very good.
Zaida.
Okay, so can you please recall for me what was the four options?
Yeah, so it was ma plus ism. So jumla ismiya, we're going to have mubtada and khabar. So for the mubtada will be the ma and the ism in mansoob form, and the khabar.
First, we told about mubtada. Mubtada is not mansoob. Mubtada was
what is it called?
in rafa form. Marfu. Very good.
Marfu. And the khabar will be mansoob.
Very good. And what is the difference here and the normal jumla ismiya pattern?
Normally, the khabar should be also marfu.
Very good. Second option?
Second option is the same. So we have laysa plus the ism in marfu.
Mubtada marfu, yeah.
And then the khabar will be ba zaid.
No, khabar will be mansoob. If you're talking about the same option, ma and laysa, or you're talking the second option of ma?
Oh, sorry, second option of ma, yes. Sorry, the ma, with the ba zaida and this time the ism will be in majroor form, but this will be khabar. Both of
This
them
will be
together
the
will be khabar.
khabar majroor. Very good. And
And
this.
then the second option we have is laysa plus the ism marfu, which will make the mubtada.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the khabar, which will be mansoob.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth option will be laysa plus ism marfu for the mubtada, and the khabar will be ba zaida plus the
Majroor.
ism majroor.
Very good. Very good. And then we studied the chart of Lysa,
Yeah.
and we tried to see how the form of accurate form of Lysa to be used in terms of
Mhm.
uh, the pronoun in the sentence. And then we studied about it, and that we covered. So today we're going to study absolute categorical
Can
negation.
you tell the laysa chart quickly?
Yes, please go ahead and
Okay, so we have laysa, huwa laysa,
mm,
hum, huma laysa,
hmm
hum laysu, hiya laysat, hu- uh, um, huma laysata, and kunna lasna.
hmm
Then we called anta
anta
lasta, and
antalasta,
anta
yeah.
lasta, antuma lastuma, antum lastum,
hmm
anti lasti, antuma lastuma, antunna lastunna, ana las ana
Lastu.
lastu, and nahnu lasna.
Very
Lasna.
good. Lasna with alif. Yes, very good, very good. All right, so that was a very good recap. Um, okay, let's start with the new topic, which is absolute categorical negation. So, absolute categorical negation is another type of negation, like in Jumla Ismiya, and it gives the meaning that when we try to say that, when we say no, it is not, and we say there is no possibility of it to be otherwise, then
Mm.
the term absolute categorical negation comes it, and this is called in Arabic la nafiya lil jins. And this type of sentence you use la. Normally when people start learning Arabic and we just start try to speak it, we put la everywhere to say as a no, right? So there is a way of negating in Arabic sentences that we have just heard. It's not just na, there is a ma, there is a lan, there is a lamma, there's a different way of negating. But la in most of the cases is negating, but here when you la nafi or jins is used, it is an absolute categorical negation. And that la is followed by an ism that is light and which is mansub. And it is followed by a jar majroor fragment. So, three conditions for absolute categorical when we have la nafiya lil jins, and these conditions are: first, the ism should be what?
Light.
Second, the ism should be in which status?
Mansoob.
And the third is it would be followed by.
Jar majroor.
So, this is we have to remember. So, again, repeat it for me, please, what I said to you.
Okay, so for lal nafiyatul jins, we need three properties. So the first is the ism needs to be light. The second is the ism needs to be mansoob, and the third that it is followed by a jar majrur fragment.
Very good. Uh, so, in terms of meaning, like it leaves no room for exception. So, when we are negating something, we are saying that there is a no possibility otherwise. If I'm saying you cannot have this chocolate, it means no matter whatever you say or whatever you do, you will never going to get this chocolate, right? And we say the sun cannot, rise from west. So, it means that whatever happens, sun will never rise from west. It will always rise from east and set in west. It will never happen otherwise. So when there's some things that are impossible to be otherwise, there is a absolute categorical negation. And when you're trying to emphasize your point, saying that whatever you're saying it's impossible, cannot be done in this life and things like that, and you use this kinds of statements, la nafia al jins is used. So example here is La ikraha fid dine. قد تبين الرشد من So please, this ayah, the part of this ayah. So if would you please try to put it your grammatical analysis on this ayah first, the part of the ayah first.
Mm,
So la is
okay.
a categorical negation.
Okay.
Negation, sorry.
Okay. So la. Then we have. So I'm going to do the macro first. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So ikraha is the ism,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so this will be the mubtada.
Okay, so why did you say ikraha is an ism?
Because there's no signs for it to be a. Oh,
No sign for it to be a.
but there's a sukoon. I was going to say no signs for it to be a fail, but fails can have a sukoon,
Mm-hmm. Fail can have
and there's
sukoon,
a
ism can have sukoon.
hamza in front.
It could be a fail, but here there
Yeah.
we sometime we used to, since we have not done surf yet, so we cannot
Yeah.
identify instantly. Sometime we have to go and use the dictionary to
Yeah.
have a
So in
use.
this
Here
case, I
it
would have
is
to
a
put
here we have
yeah,
been told that this la nafiyal jins is jumla ismiya, so we know that it is
yeah,
a
ism.
ism.
Okay, mubtada, and then fi dunya, fi is harf of jar, and dunya is
Dini. It's not dunya.
the oh sorry,
Fiddini.
fi dunya. Yes, sorry. Okay.
Dini.
Fi din, fi dini is it's a majroor, so we have 1 minute. Sorry.
Okay. So we have la ikraha fi dini, where is la al
Mhm.
nafiya jism is followed by a ism which is in mansoob
Yeah.
form,
So
and
this
that
is
ism is
mutalik bil
followed by,
fi'l, yeah?
yeah, that is mutalik
مطالب
bil khabar. Yeah,
مطالب الخبر
mutalik
sorry.
bil khabar fi dini.
Okay.
Fi means in and deen means religion, in,
Okay.
and it says al on it, so in the religion. So la, if we do not ikraha fi dini means compulsion. Ikraha means compulsion. Fiddini in the religion.
Yeah.
So without la, the sentence translation will only be compulsion in the religion.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are saying there
Yeah.
is la. La means what? There is absolutely no
Yeah.
compulsion in the religion. You cannot translate it as no compulsion in the religion. Right?
Mm.
Whether people
Yeah.
say that there is no compulsion in the religion, so it looks like it's not translation of la ikraha fi dini. In la ikraha fi dini, Allah Ta'ala is telling us that there is absolutely no compulsion in the religion.
Yeah.
So this denial with respect to the simple no denial is way apart. So
Mm.
translating it simply that there is no compulsion in religion is the not the right translation for this part of the ayah. So when you have la nafiyal jins, as a grammar student, we have to identify the la. It is followed by a ism mansoob and followed by a jar majroor fragment. Then this is our absolute categorical negation, and there is no other possibility uh, uh, happens to be there.
Yeah. So if it was heavy, it would be ikrahan. So
Y-
this is light. So it's ikraha.
Very good.
Mansub.
Yeah. And if it was like, if we have to simply negate it, it's a jumla ismiya, ikrahan fi dini. So how you can negate that in if yes a jumla ismiya?
How I can sorry?
How can you negate it if it's simple way
Yeah.
that what we have studied? If it's not
Um,
if la in here, how could you do that?
we could let's have a look. We could add ma. We could add Lisa, and we
Yes.
could have the ba zaida in both cases.
Yeah. So if we try to do that with ma, so what
Mm.
changes could you make for that?
So with ma, the ism would be marfu,
Mm-hmm.
and then the khabar, um, the khabar would be just the ism. So how would we
So isim khabar should be mansoob. So we do not
mansoob?
have
Yeah,
khabar here. We have sometime we do not have khabar. We have mutalik bil khabar.
yeah.
Yeah, so we skip to the khabar part, we go to the mutalik bil khabar part. And the ism would be
So
in rafa marfu form. So that would be ikra
yeah,
hun.
Okay, yeah. Ikrahun fiddini. The fiddini would be the same.
Yeah, ma ikrahun fiddini.
No,
Yeah,
ikraha. Ma
just
ikrahun fiddini.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm just trying to put you to think otherwise as well. When you're thinking of one option, think about the
Yeah.
other thing that so you can relate things together.
And the same with Laysa as well. Laysa,
Laysa
Laysa ikrahun fiddini. So you wouldn't have the bad either because you already have you just have a mutalik bil
bil khabar. Yeah,
khabar.
so we cannot do the by zada sentence here.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And then the translation will be simple negating sentences, right?
Yeah. So with the ma, it would be no, there is no compulsory religion, and with
Mm,
the laysa, it would be just
the
there's no
compulsion
compulsory
on the
religion.
religion. Yes. And this the difference. If the ma and Laysa would be now they have la, so there is absolutely no compulsion in the religion. Then there were the chances because if when you're using ma, you are arguing with someone. You're just trying to. Somebody saying though there is compulsion. You are saying no, there is not, and the possibility exists that either you convinced that person or you got convinced, right? So there could be a possibility. But in Laysa, you're just saying that oh, this is the statement. But when you are having a la, no other thing can be discussed after that. All right, thank you. Who do we have on call? Sorry, in this session other than Sister Samia?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Faiza. This is
Alaikum assalam.
Sarah, actually. I joined from my daughter's ID, so I think my name is not.
Sister Sarah, welcome on board after a long time.
Yes, a long time.
How are you going along? Are you following the lectures?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, I'm trying to catch up. Actually, I'm doing another course as well. It's in Urdu, the same Dream textbook. They are a little bit behind, so uh, I'm following that as well.
Very
So
good.
slowly
Inshallah, that will be help
going
you.
ahead,
Yeah. That will help
inshallah.
you to inshallah, inshallah. But we have gone quite ahead, so I hope you will be listening and finding a lot of things confusing for you.
Yeah, yeah, this part actually is my daughter is also doing a similar course
Hmm.
in Arabic.
Hmm.
So La Nafia and La Nahia they were covered for her as well. So this is something I'm familiar with.
Oh, Alhamdulillah. So please keep on
Alhamdulillah.
listening. And I'm not asking you to answers anything, but if you find anything you want me to clarify, please stop me there. Okay?
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
Thank you. Now, Sister Samia, the second one, please.
Okay, so la sharika lahu. So here we have la, and in order for it to be la nafiyatul jins, we need the ism to be mansoob. So here the ism is mansoob. Well, this is the mubtada, so the ism is mansoob, and it is light.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need jar majrur fragment afterwards. So we have lahu, which is the mutalik bil khabar.
Mm-hmm.
So we can say that this is la nafiyatul jins. So if we didn't have la, then it would be so sharika lahu would mean just
Sharikun lahu.
sharikun lahu. And it would mean so sharik means
Sharika. He has
prescribing
sharika.
sharika, prescribing a partner
Mm,
to him.
mm.
So la, absolutely no
It
prescribing a
means
partner
partners. Sharika lahu means part. Sharika means partner, right? Sharika
no,
lahu partners for him, right?
for him. Yes.
Sharika lahu, sharikun lahu will be partners for him. So when we say la sharika lahu, there is no absolutely no partner for him. Or in better English, he has absolutely no partners.
Yeah.
Very good. And the third last one example is la raiba fihi.
So
Same thing.
the has. I'm just trying to think. How does the has? We that's again just we're just using our balagha or whatever it's called, right? You just
No,
add
we
the
did
has to mix
when
it.
we were studying complex sentence structures, is when we
Or
studied
the
about
mubtada
putting a has, right?
after mubtada, yeah.
Yeah, when we
Is
have
or
to put
has.
some belonging for him, when we have for, some showing the belonging, has is also is the kind of a word that shows belonging in English.
Yeah.
So it's just the translating how to use a translate better translation in the language you are translating to. So when you will be translating in any other language than English, Urdu or Bangla or Tamil or any other Hindi or any other languages, you use the sentence structure that they follow for better translation. So if
Yeah.
we translate it literally from Arabic to English, it will go, there is absolutely no partner for him. And if you say it otherwise, if you say, okay, please restructure it in English and try to use it in a simple English, what would you say? There is no partners for, absolutely no partners for him, or he has
Mhm.
no partners.
Yeah.
So this is just a way of, two different way of writing. When we have a possessive sentences, we can use has instead of putting it in a literal
Mhm.
word by word translation.
I need to revise the he has, there is, I
He
think.
has theirs,
Mhm.
yes, definitely.
You know,
We
we
studied
needed
it.
the there is, he has. I
Hmm.
need to go over that, inshallah.
Yeah, there's a lot of thing to remember, recover. I know we all miss something, but at least we have a reminder. We can go back and
Yeah,
check it.
yeah, inshallah.
Jazakallah. Okay, so
Mm.
can you please read for me? It's just two of us today, so sisters, it's a lot on you. So can you
Yes,
please read
okay.
from the examples below?
So the la raiba fihi
No, after that, la raiba fihi is
after
a
that.
similar thing, right? La raiba
Yeah.
fihi.
Okay.
Raib means doubt, and it's a mansoob. Fihi is a jar majroor, fi and he. So
Yeah.
it's similar thing. So la raiba fihi. Please go after the examples, the text written there.
In in terms of labeling, the la nafia along with the ism that follows it, ismu la, make up the mubtada. The jar majroor that follows is the mutalik bil khabar. La an-nafiya lil jins is a third reason to make an ism light.
Mm-hmm,
Recall that the first two reasons were mudaf and partly flexible words.
mm-hmm,
Know that if the ism that follows is marfu' and heavy, the la is not nafiya lil jins. Rather, it is a regular la nafiya,
mm-hmm.
and there is room for exception.
Mm-hmm. So, are we clear on that? What the difference between non-nafiya and la nafiya lil jins?
Yeah. If so
If it's a
absolutely this
non-nafiya,
one
yeah. So
has
it's
to
what like
be.
the ism is ismullah makes up of mubtada, and the jar
Mm,
majroor that follows is the mutalik bil khabar. So it will be a normal mubtada.
yeah.
But the la nafiya al jin is what? It makes it the ism
Right.
light and made it mansub, right?
Yeah.
I know that isim that follows the marfu is and heavy. The la is not nafiya lil jins, rather it's a regular nal nafiya. So the example they are given is la bay'un fihi. There is no bargaining in it. We are not translating it as there is absolutely no bargaining in it. But if you have to put it as a la nafiya, what changes that you have to make it in the sentence?
So it would become light. So la bay'u fihi.
And just light.
Mansoob. It will be la bay'a fihi.
Oh yes.
Very good. La bay'a fihi. You have to make it mansoob as well.
Okay.
Two things to remember
Yeah.
between la nafiya and la nafiya lil jins.
Okay, inshallah.
Very good. So this topic we are finishing and we are going to start a new topic which is called share tool of negation. That tool that we share between the Jumla Felia and Jumla Ismiya. So there is something that we will find in Jumla Ismiya as well and Jumla Felia as well. These are that ma plus illa combination and inna plus illa in plus illa combination, not inna, in plus illa combination. So there's two combinations, ma plus illa and in plus illa. But when you have to say something that neither nor that we have combination, that is nothing but combination. Nothing but this, nothing but that. So when you have nothing but, then you have ma plus illa or ma plus in combination. So now please read from here the second line in the case of Jumla Ismiya.
In the case of al-jumla al-fi'liya, the
Jumla
meaning it
Ismiya.
gives.
Okay, so I start from Jumla Fi'liya. Fine, yeah.
Oh, in the case of al-jumla al-fi'liya, the meaning it gives is X did, does, nothing but Y.
Mm.
In the case of al-jumla ismiya, it gives that X is nothing but Y.
Yeah. So
These
what
two
is
have,
sorry, stopping you here. What is the addition here? Did, does. What does it reflect? Because when you have a jumla failure, there is some action. Did, does means that some action is
Yeah.
happening in that place. So X hasn't done this and that, but
Yeah.
somebody else, right? It's not X who did it, but Y who did it. It's not Sarah who did it, Samia did it, right? So this kind of, because it's about the action. But if we are talking about in Jumla Ismiya, is X is nothing but Y. It means that we are talking the action is not involved. Like I say, ice cream is not cold but melted, right? Or I say the coffee is not hot but warm, or anything like that. I'm just speaking tattoo. I'm just sipping tea, so I can only think about the food example. But yeah, if you say you're trying to compare two things and you say this is not but that, you say that you know the the player is not excellent but good, right? At his job, or the doctor is not uh, um, the doctor is not experienced, but he's good at what he's doing. So you're trying to compare two things, right? X is not but that. So this kind of a sentences. And in Jumla failure, of course, it will be some action involved. In Jumla Ismiya, there will be just comparison between two isms, two things, or two people, two ism, that I say. Um, so these gram tools, when you're using it, it's just we are just trying to compare two things. We are not going to change and do any changes in the grammatical structure or on the form of the words. So if the thing is that if you just remove that these ma plus illa or in plus illa part, then you have your regular affirmative sentence, right? A normal sentence, but just you add plus ma plus illa or in plus illa combination, it will make it negative. If you remove it, nothing else to be changed, just will confirm into a
Father, my camera
positive
just
sentence.
turned on by accident. Would you be able to blur that out, please?
Sorry.
My camera, I just pressed the camera by accident a
Okay.
few seconds ago.
I'm not recording this camera screen, so you're not getting recorded. You can fix it
Okay,
in your
good.
background, right? So we are
Okay,
on this screen that is getting recorded.
okay.
If I go back, then might flash you there. Okay. So the thing is that the both ma and na are used for refutation in a refutation, but in is more emphatic. So ma or in illa or in or illa both are used, and it depends on the severity of the sentence. That why we use sometimes it's ma and illa used and sometimes in and illa used, and we will see when we do this example from Quran. So inshallah ta'ala, sister Samia, please
Thank you, Father.
attempt the first one.
Okay,
In huwa illa zikrun wa Quranun mubin.
okay. In huwa illa. Sorry. Um. So macro first.
Yes, please.
So in when you know the harf nasab, that's inna, right? This is just
Yes,
in.
in it's just in. Just say
Yeah.
it's a harf.
Okay, so we have a harf, then huwa, we have a pronoun. So
Hmm.
this is jumla ismi.
Very good.
Um, so this will be the mubtada starter.
Yes.
And then illa dhikrun wa Qur'anun mubin. So
Hmm.
this whole dhikrun wa Qur'anun mubin.
Okay, now tell
So this
me
looks
what
like
is,
a,
if we have
yeah,
a huwa and zikrun, do we have any connection between huwa and zikrun?
no,
So we have mubtada is ending and khabar is starting.
covered is starting, yeah.
So what is the condition for a khabar in normal jumla ismiya?
It needs to be
Marfu
marfu.
should be in rafa form. So zikrun is heavy. We know it's in isim and it's in a rafa form. So it
Yes.
is our khabar.
Mm-hmm.
Then what we
Yeah.
have after it,
Wa
which is our ataf.
ataf
So
Qur'anun mubinun.
Quranun is what? And just go one by one. Quranun is
Okay.
what?
This
Again,
is
what are?
ism in Rafa
Isim and
status.
Rafa status. So Zikrun and Quranun is connected with Wa.
Yeah.
So it is part of our. khabar.
Yep.
Then we have mubinun, which is again in rafa status, and but we do not have wa here. So Quranun and mubinun, we have to check a connection between
So,
Quranun and
yeah,
mubinun. So do you
yeah.
find a difference between Quran and mubinun?
So if the four properties match, then it will be mawsuf sifa.
Very good.
So then both in rafa status,
Mm-hmm.
Quran and mubin, there's no reason for it to be feminine,
Yes.
and they're singular,
Mm-hmm.
and they are both common
Both
in property.
very good. So we have a Masuf Sifa. So Quran and Mubin are connected as a Masuf Sifa fragment. So whole thing from Zikrun wa Quran and Mubinun become our what?
Khabar.
Khabar. So this is our structure. So if we remove inna and illa, huwa zikrun Quran and Mubin,
Mm.
how would you translate it?
It is remembrance and clear Quran
Remembers and a clear
and
Quran.
a clear
Yes.
Quran.
So
Yeah.
ab now we put inna between inna before the khabar mubtada and illa after the mubtada. So what is it happens that it is separating huwa from the mubtada from the khabar,
Yeah.
right? So it's separating mubtada from the khabar. So what is happening? We are saying that it is nothing but a remembrance and a clear sign,
Yeah.
right? And do you see the why emphatic it is here? When we are
Well,
saying that it is a remembrance and a clear Quran. So you are just saying a statement. When we are saying it is nothing but a remembrance and a clear Quran, then what we are saying, we are emphasizing on the fact that this is, you do not have to associate anything with with this book. A remembrance and a clear Quran, right? So this is the saying that emphasis is happening when you have a in an illa combination coming. Next one, Sister Sarah, would you like to try the next one?
Yes, inshallah.
Michelle, please go ahead.
Okay, ma antum illa basharum mithluna.
Mm-hmm.
So here, the ma is the tool of negation.
Mm-hmm. You
Antum,
can say ma is a
uh,
harf here. You can just,
ma is
yeah.
a harf. Yeah,
Yeah.
ma is a harf.
Mm-hmm.
And antum is all of you, the pronoun.
Very
So it
good.
will be the mubtada
Very good.
in jumla ismiya.
Mm-hmm.
Illa is again the harf.
Mm-hmm.
Basharun mithluna. Basharun mithluna is it's heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and mithluna is having the pronoun attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
If we have a attached
physics
pronoun with
and
the ism, what do we have here?
will it be an idafa fragment?
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. So basharun mithluna is the idafa fragment.
Bashurun Misluna is a combined Idafa fragment. Mishrun
Idafa fragment.
Misluna. So yes, so this is our, and this in
And
the
this would be
Rafa
our
status
khabar.
khabar. Very
Yeah.
good.
Khabar.
Ma antum ila bashrun mislina. Now we have categorical negation coming in, and that is sorry, not categorical negation, x and y combination negation coming in. So we have ma antum illa basharun mislana. You all, antum means you all are nothing but human like us.
Humans like us. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Sister Samia, your turn. In yaquluna illa kaziban.
Okay, inshallah. So here we have in, which is a harf.
Mm-hmm.
يقولون begins with the ya and ends in una. It looks like a fi'l,
Mm,
a
yaquluna, yeah.
مضارع فعل
Yaquluna,
مضارع.
yes, yes.
So this would be a جملة فعلية.
Very good.
So then the we need to, when we're looking at Jumla Fili, we need to look for the fail, file, and maf'ul.
Mm-hmm.
So the fail, y- the fa-
The fail
the
is
fail is
يقولون. The
يقولون,
file is
the una. So hum,
أنتم.
yeah.
No, it's home, not أنتم.
Hum,
Sorry,
yeah,
it's home, not أنتم. My bad. It's
yeah.
home.
Okay, okay. Hum, illa is a harf,
Mm-hmm.
and kadiban is nasib, nasib status.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be our maf'ul.
مفعول.
kadiban, maf'ul,
مفعول. Which مفعول it is?
maf'ul, kadiba. Can I say bihi? I
Yes, it's
don't
به.
know.
It's answering what?
Okay.
Yeah, it's مفعول به. So very good. So يقولون كذبا. They speak. Call means speak. They speak lies or they say utter lies. كذبا, they speak lies.
Yes.
But in يقولون إلا كذبا means they speak nothing but lies.
Lam.
Yeah, so you are feeling on the people that these people are compulsive liars. Only what they say is just a bunch of lies.
So after the fail file, between the fail file and the maf'ul bihi, that's when nothing but comes in.
Okay, so when we talk about Jumla failure, we have first bit that we have fail and file combined inside a fail, right? When we do
Mm.
not have this condition, we sometimes have outside file as well. So this part, fail and file, become one part in when talking about Jumla
Mm.
failure, which is separated by what? Our maf'ul that's come after or then mutalik bil fail. So here we just separate the fail and file to the maf'ul and put in your in and fail it plus file and then illa.
Yep. So if there was outside doer, then it would be illa would come after the outside doer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Um, Now, Sister Sarah, your turn.
Okay, ما is the حرف. يأكلون فعل مضارع.
Mhm.
And في بطونهم في
What
is
is the
the
file here? When we talk about fail, we talk about file as well.
file. Yes, actually I didn't attend these classes with you, but uh, يأكلون una gives that it's the plural.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the يأكلون. It's translated as they, so it is the inside doer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is inside doer and it means kuluna. Unas is giving and ya
Una
beginning and
gives
una ending is giving away that the
that
inside
it
pronoun is hum.
is home. Yeah,
Right?
home.
So that's why they translate as they.
They.
Very good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Fi is the harf of jar and butunihim is the majrur,
Mm-hmm.
and illa is again our harf here.
Mm-hmm.
Annar. Annar is
Annara.
Annara.
Annara. Yeah.
Annara. Annara is it's in the nasab form, and it is
So it's in nasab. If the ism is in nasab form in jumla failure, what does it reflect? It is what?
ism in nasab form. Is it the
What are
maf'ul?
the yes?
Maf'ul.
What are the parts here? We have fail,
We have the
file,
fail,
maful,
file, maf'ul. Yeah.
and mutalik bil
And
fail.
yeah, and mutalik will fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, this will be the an-nara will be the maf'ul,
Mm-hmm.
and an-nara. What type of maf'ul? Will it be maf'ul al-hal because it's giving us
No,
maf'ul al-hal,
it's not
or
for mafulul hal. It should be something that gives you time and place.
yeah, not time and place. So maf'ul bihi.
It's maful bihi. It's answering
Yeah,
simple
maf'ul bihi.
what question. Very good.
Yeah.
So ma, now you see Ma and illa, the ma is coming in the beginning, but illa is coming after fi butunihim, which is a jar
Yes.
majrur. So the thing is
Mhm.
that when we have this is a abnormal sentence structure. The mutalik bil fail is coming before maf'ul. So the thing is that we have to separate our first part with the second part. So we have to separate our ism from the maf'ul, or sorry, from our fail file from the maf'ul. But the mutalik bil
Fail
fail
from
is coming in
Maful.
between. So we consider this mutalik bil fail as the
Mm.
part of fail file, not with the part of a maf'ul. So there's two possibilities. Either you could put
Okay.
illa before fi butunihim or after fi butunihim. But the illa will be placed after fi
Yeah.
butunihim. Why? Because we have to separate the maf'ul from the jumla failure.
But the fail, okay, the fail here is yakuluna.
Mm.
So mutalik bil fail is coming after it, right? It's not
This is
coming before.
the abnormal sentence structure, right? So fi butunihim is coming before maf'ul.
Before maful. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. I
so
got
the
it.
thing is that that I said there were two possibilities. If you would be thinking, if it's not written
Mm.
here, you've been asked to put ma and illa in this sentence, yakuluna fi
Mm.
butunihim. You could have put it like if I ask you do it this way, you did it ma yakuluna illa fi butunihim
Mm.
nari. Our sister Samia said, ah no, I think that it has to put before after fi butunihim because there are two. We have not studied that, and there were two possibilities. So
Mm.
that's why I'm trying to explain it to you. The right way is that when you have this kind of a scenario where you have
Mm.
to separate two parts of the Jumla failure, then you will put everything considered in the first part as a part of a Jumla failure and maful as a separate part. So
Okay.
if it was a normal Jumla failure, yaquluna annari fi butunihim, then illa will be placed before maf'ul and fi
Mm.
butunihim will be coming afterward because the all concept is to separate the maf'ul from the jumla failure for you to remember
Yes.
it easily. Just the thing is that to you separate the maf'ul from jumla failure.
Okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
No problem. Is that clear, Sister Samia, to you as well?
Yes. So I just
This
need
is
to
a
remember
trick
that
one,
we're
yeah.
separating the maf'ul, so it's before the maf'ul. Yeah, it's before the maf'ul.
Very good. So when you're translating it, you're saying it. They eat into their bellies nothing but fire. But if I try to translate it, that they eat nothing but into their bellies fire. So it will not make any sense
Yeah,
because
yeah.
eating
They eat
into their
it.
belly, eat into their bellies is connected with the eating, and fire is something
Mhm.
which is something that is affecting the bellies.
Mm.
So in translation wise, even you can see that
It makes
if
sense like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense as well. So you know, when we have a regular structure, we have some example that we see first, and now there's another example they are given is وما على الرسول إلى البلاغ المبين. Wa is ataf, ma is harf, ala الرسول. So what does it look like to you? Ala الرسول.
Yeah, it's sort of like متعلق well, I don't know what this is, but
Ala
this looks
الرسول
like
is a jar majrur fragment.
the
First thing
Majul
first.
Jar
Yeah.
fragment.
majroor. Yeah.
It's a
The
jar
jar
majrur
majroor.
fragment. We don't know whether it's a mutalik bil khabar or mutalik bil fail because we don't know it's a jumla ismiya or jumla failure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we have to look for the other word that is
Next
coming
part,
after
yeah.
it. So what does we have here is al balaghu.
So this is the ism.
Al balaghul mubin. Al
Al
mubin.
balagh. First, yeah, first we look at al balaghu and we say it's an ism al connected, so it's a jumla
Listen.
ismiya.
Yeah.
So al
Jumla.
rasuli is a mutalik bil khabar.
So this will be mutalik bil khabar. Yes.
Very good. Now we go ahead
More.
and start analyzing al balaghu and afterward after it al balaghu is a mubtida and al mubinu is another ism in rafa form. So either it could be our khabar or either it could be our what? Connected to the mubtada. we have to analyze it first. Al Balahu and Al Mubinu, if they have them look like there's a connection between it.
Yeah, it looks like they are Mawsuf Sifa
So they are
fragments.
Mawsuf Sifa. So that Al Balagul Al Mubinu is combined are
Mubtada.
Mubtada. And this is an abnormal sentence structure because the Mutalik bil khabar is coming before the
Muqaddam.
Mubtada. It's muqaddam and the khabar is Mubtada is
Before.
muakhar.
Before.
So here it is.
Mm.
What you're going to do is that you have to separate Mutalik bil khabar with the Mubtada. That's what they are doing here. Then they have Ma ala Rasuli ila balaghul mubin. Ala Rasuli upon the Rasul, al balaghul mubin, clear, conveying. So there is nothing upon the Rasul but the clear conveying.
It's hard. I mean, I understand the grammatical analysis, but the translation, I'm finding it hard to.
You do not have to translate it, but you just have to
Yeah.
understand the translation. So let me
Yeah.
clear it to you once again. Forget the ma, forget ila, forget everything. Just translate to me ala rasuli,
So upon the messenger.
upon the messenger. Never, not never a sentence start with upon the messenger in a normal way, right? Normal way, he is the messenger, she is the messenger. They say to the messenger, or something like that, right? When we have
Yeah.
something starting with upon the messenger, it means that this is not a normal
Sentence.
sentence. But so, since we are translating word by word, we say Allah Rasuli upon the messenger. Then we say al balagul al mubin, the two words we say. And Allah Rasuli and al balagul al mubin, there is a no connection. So there is something which is coming up, which is invisible is. So
Yeah.
upon the messenger, and we say is. Al balagul al mubin is what?
What's al
Clear
message?
conveying. Yeah, clear message, right? Clear conveying or clear message.
Okay.
So upon the Rasul is clear conveying clear message, clear conveying, right? So this is the literal translation. But if you try to put it, if you try to write a sentence, would you ever put it this way?
No.
So this is,
Well,
yeah, so this is a literal translation. But when we try to translate it into any language, we use the way that that language works. So now if we say Allah Rasulu Balagul Mubining, upon the messenger is clear conveying, you can say that
the messenger has
the
to.
messenger's only obligation is clear conveying. The
the-
messenger only is for clear conveying.
Yeah.
The messenger's only job is for clear conveying. That is the means that is going towards it. So you have to analyze what's the meaning is going forward. Now, if you put ma and illa, then you will say there is nothing upon the messenger but clear conveying. You get it?
Yeah. I get it.
It's, because this is something when you have to, I was doing to Badu, something that we studies at a grammar, but not all the time. We use the sentence in our languages, which reflects the actual grammar, but it reflects the meaning when it's going to be said. So this is wow, when you're trying to word by word translate from one language to another, you can never clearly convey the meanings that are associated to it. For that, you have to have a knowledge of the language as well that you are translating to. The language of what you are translating and the knowledge of the language you are translating to. So if you try to translate from Arabic to English, you should have a knowledge of Arabic grammar as well and the English grammar as well. So to make a correct sense. So most of the time it happens you are reading a translation. It happens with me most of the time. When you start reading the translations, you start losing any interest in it because the way it is translated, the meaning is not actually conveying to you. You're not feeling any connection because they just try to literally word by word translate it. And when you try to read it into English or do any other language, you don't feel any sense out of it. You just read it for the sake of, getting a reward for the efforts you're doing, but you not get to truly understand what's been said. And for that, you have to understand the grammar behind the both languages. So this is the purpose of when you translate, you should have this. And now we are doing just grammatical analysis. This kind of translation is fine for us, but not to literally put it into kind of any writing and saying that, okay, this is what I know. This is all I can do translations now. So we are not at all at this level, any close to this level. So
Yeah,
Jazakallah. So we have few, 15, less than 10 minutes left. So let's do the drill three and call it a day. I'm just trying to cover this topic, but this topic is so deep.
remember chapter 10, we still have the negating kana, right?
Yeah, so we have to go back and complete that part as well when we finish negating the chapter of negation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, let's do this exercise quickly, and then we'll call it off a day, inshallah. So Sister Samia, it's just, is that okay if I ask you to do it here, or you will send me a homework?
Yeah, can I do it as homework? Then I can go over it
Yeah,
and.
yeah, that's
Like,
fine. Then I can quickly go through the Manzaida topic. If
okay.
that's not overwhelming for you, if is that
No, no,
already
I'd rather go through it again and then do it in my own time. Sure.
okay, inshallah. Okay, ma and zaida. Zaid means extra. That is, if we have ba zaida, which is extra ba, then we have a ma and zaida, which is an additional harf that we add to an isim or a fragment, which may change the role of that isim or fragment into the sentence, but that will be, you know, when you use the man, it is a meaning of not a single or any. So we will see how that happen. So when we are having a jumla ismiya, so man al zaida, you will find it attached to the mubtada, and when you see it into a jumla failure, you will find it attached to the maf'ul bihi,
Okay.
fa'il or a maf'ul bihi.
Okay.
So let's have a look, because this is something that we are just learning to spot in the Quran and see that when we could see and identify this man and or ba or thing like this. So not any man that you see can be considered man al zaida, but for man al zaida, these are the three conditions that have to be fulfilled. So the first thing is will always come in either a negated sentences or a question sentences. So man al zaida is not ever coming in a regular sentence. It's either coming in a negative sentence or a questioning sentence. The word that will be followed after it must be common. Second condition. The third condition is the sentence should still make sense after its removal. So anything which is zaida means it is not affecting the sentence in grammatical way or any other way. If you just put it, it will add to the meaning. If you remove it, it will not disturb the sense of the of the sentence. Is that clear?
Um,
Okay. First thing, uh, everything when we have zaida, zaida means extra. If anything is extra, if you remove it, will that affect on the regular I thing that you'll be doing? It's an extra, right? If you've been asked to do 5 hour job and you say and you put one extra hour, like you can do an extra hour. So if you're doing an extra hour, it means that you are trying to put more effort into it. But if you're not doing that extra hour, you will not be blamed for not doing your job because your job is to do the 5 hours a day, right? And that sixth hour, the 1 hour is extra. So it will be an extra efficiency, but not going to be when you will be judging in the end, you will say, oh, yes, you completed your 5 hour job. But that will be, this is like this when something is extra, then you can simply remove it, but will not be affecting the cause or purpose of that thing. But if you're doing this extra thing, that will definitely be adding some value. So anything which is man zaida, ba zaida, anything you have is that this will come into the sentence to add some value. But if you remove it, it will not affect the sentence. The sentence will start still maybe making the sense and it will still remain there. This is the first thing. Second thing, two rules that you have to remember is that The man al zaida, min al zaida, man al zaida, you will not find it in a normal sentence, but you will find it in terms of negating or questioning. And there is something is negating and there's something is questioning, then you is man al zaida can be found there. And the second thing thinks if you have a man al zaida, then the ism that is following it must be what? The word that after must be common. Ism will be common. So that's why you should not confuse this man with the jar majroor, regular jar majroor fragment. So we will look at the example and this thing will be clear to you. So are you okay with whatever I've told you about these two conditions and the extra bit?
Yeah. So it can be min or man, both of them.
Yes, it's a month, min or month, depending on the flow of the sentence. Sometimes the harakat are used to, this is same way have in when you study jar majroor or any other word. Sometimes you give the harakat little different just to connect it with the word before it.
So will it still make it majroor, the ism after it?
Yes, ism. Okay, whenever you have bal zaida, what's the ism after it, majroor?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing as the
Yeah.
bal zaida. It's a manal zaida, a manal zaida. But the ism that is coming is will be majroor but common ism, not a
Okay.
proper ism. And the tone of the sentence will either be you are negating something or you are questioning about something. So here we have first example is ma lahu qalmun, means he does not have a pen. But lahu you say for him there is no pen. Lahu qalmun for him pen. Ma lahu qalmun for him no pen. But it's not in English, right English. So we say he doesn't have a pen. So ma lahu qalmun, he doesn't have a pen. Ma lahu min qalmin. So what's happening? If you putting min, qalm is cutting into qalmin because man has a tendency of making the word that's coming after it majroor. That we all know,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is not a jar majroor fragment kind of a thing. We do not putting any extra meaning of a min in here, right? So malahu min qalmin, he doesn't have a single pen. You say he doesn't have a pen too, he that converted into he doesn't have a single pen. But if you remove man from it, will this anything changes? Malahu, it will be going back to qalmun. Malahu qalmun. Malahu min qalmin, he doesn't have a single pen. Are you getting it?
Yes, I'm getting it. So how would we label this? Lahu will be the
Jar majroor, which is jar mein mutalik bil khabar muqaddim
yeah.
and mubtada muakhir.
آخر, yes, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ma fil bayti rajulun. So there is no man in the house. Ma fi al bayti min rajulun. There is not a single man in the house. Right? When you say there is no man in the house, there is not a single man in the house. Like you're trying to convey somebody, what are you talking about? There is not a single man in the house. Right? So sometimes they come and ask you if there's a man in the house. We want to talk to him. You say, no, there is no man in the house. Then they try to, if you don't have a brother or a sister, then you say, oh, there's not a single man in the house. Right? So in this kind of sentences, you put man al-zaida in here. The third one is hal fil mutbakhi aqalun. Is there food in the kitchen? Now this one is with a questioning word. The hal is a questioning word. Hal fil matbakhi aqalun? Is there food in the kitchen? Hal fil matbakhi man aqalun? Is there any food in the kitchen? Like if somebody asks, do you have any food at all? Is there any food in the kitchen? Like you're not particular, you're so hungry, you want to eat anything. So you want, is there any food in the kitchen? So this kind of man will be used in and akalun will be converted into akalin. But if you remove the man, it will go back to akalun. And it's remain the mubtada. It will not become mutalik bil khabar. Right? You will never label it as a mutalik bil khabar. It will remain what? Your mubtada. Are you getting it? I thought I was
Yeah.
just something told me that Sister Samia is confused with the mutalik bil khabar thing.
No, I understand. It's just I need to revise the he does there he has there is I need to
Mm,
revise that. But
mm.
is that from the abnormal sentence structure that the mutalik bil khabar comes before?
When
Or
yes, mutalik bil khabar coming before is an abnormal sentence structure, right? So we have
yeah.
the sentences where mutalik bil khabar is muqaddam and your mubtada is muakhar.
Yeah.
But here, if you look at this sentence, if you have not studied about the man al zaida, you say fil matbakhi min aqalin. So you will say two mutalik bil khabar in here, right? You will say the first jar majur and second jar majur fragment. But man
Mm.
akalin or man rajulin or min qalamin, none of this is jar majur fragment. This is your mubtada appearing as a majroor. Why? Because we have man al zaida in here. But it's
Right.
not affecting the role. It's not making a mutalik bil khabar. It will remain your mubtada muakhar. Understood?
Yes, inshallah.
Okay, I'm stopping it here because this is too much for you to remember and process. So inshallah, we will start from the next thing here. So I'm stopping the recording here.